Hello. So this is part 2 of the combat robot build. We are currently working on a little remote-controlled robot, so we can learn a few things before building a ant-weight combat robot. Last time we picked out the components we want to use, and this time we'll be designing a 3D printed body and wheels. I have CAD parts for the components we selected, but there is one change. I determined that I needed a mixer to work correctly with the transmitter that I've chosen, and I ended up finding a component which is a mixer and a 2-output speed controller and a BEC. It works in the same way as we were looking at last time, but now everything is one part. The only real criteria for this design was it needed to fit in a 12cm cube, because that's the size of my 3D printer. I decided to use the screw holes on the front of the motor to mount them to the body. The control board also has parts for mounting, and I just needed to add standoffs to give clearance for the parts on the underside. For the receiver and the battery, I'm going to Velcro them to the body, and I put in little indents for where I want the parts to go. The wheels are just 3D printed discs with a cutout for the motor shaft. At the end, I realized that as soon as I tell the robot to go forwards, it's just going to flip itself over. So I added little standoffs to prevent that from happening. Because these standoffs come off of the bottom, I'm going to have to print them separately and glue them on. So that's basically it for the body. I don't love this design, but I think it'll work. The next steps for the project are to order all the parts, 3D print the 3D printed parts, and then we can put it all together and see if it runs.